Hey guys, I'm Pebble, a Grandmaster, top 500 player. My peak is 4471 SR and I have a 92% win rate on Moira. I'm no pro, and still figuring out a lot about how to play Moira, but I have some tips for other players new to this hero. My opinion is that she is one of the most powerful heroes in the game right now, although everyone overlooks her because they're not playing her properly.
In case you're wondering how to spell Moira, it's spelled O-P-A-F, just in case you're wondering.
Moira doesn't even really feel like a support, to be honest.
Moira is a healer, and although sometimes you might do some damage, she is not a DPS hero. In fact, I've consistently pulled more healing than Mercy in 7 out of 10 games I've played her. She does about 80 healing per second, the same as Ana, except she can heal multiple targets, and she can heal through shields. This means she has an upper healing limit of 400 healing per second. Add in her Biotic Orb, which does another 75 healing per second, and she can potentially do almost 800 healing per second total if all 5 of your teammates are grouped together. Similarly, although you can do damage with her ult, it is not a damage based ult, doing 140 healing per second, but only 70 damage per second, less than an uncharged Zarya beam. As a Moira, focus on healing. Your healing goes through shields while your attack does not. You want to run a second support with Moira because although she has strong healing, you won't always have enough resources to keep the healing flowing, and you lack long range healing, especially for teammates on high ground. Plus, she's especially good at peeling and protecting your second support, given her extremely high mobility and ability to heal through Winston Bubble and D.Va Defense Matrix. One common question is, should you use the damage orb or the healing orb? A lot of thought process can go into this question, but there is a simple answer. The damage orb allows you to do damage to enemies at a distance without risk, and through Reinhardt, Orisa, or Winston shields. You can already heal through enemy shields, so unless you need faster healing for tanks or you need to heal yourself, the damage orb lets you tap into an additional source of ult charge the healing orb doesn't provide. This doesn't mean you shouldn't use the heal orb, or that the healing orb isn't good. The Biotic Orb, which has a 9-second cooldown, heals 75 per second and up to 300 health total. Combine that with the lifesteal ability Moira's primary attack has, which heals you for 30 per second, and you can heal yourself for over 100 HP per second. By alternating between using a healing orb and your Fade ability, which only has a 4-second cooldown, Moira can have the best survivability out of any support. As long as you avoid the line of sight of high burst damage heroes like Hanzo, McCree, Widowmaker, and Roadhog, Moira will be nearly impossible to kill, especially with a second support present. Because Fade is such a strong ability and only has a 4-second cooldown, you can generally assume that as long as the enemy can't kill you within 4 seconds, you'll be able to escape. If you ever get a situation where you're too deep into the enemy team and can't just fade away to safety, Moira has decent 1v1 potential. Against heroes where the fight might be prolonged, such as Tracer with Recall or another Moira, I like to use the healing orb to stay alive. Faced against somebody who I might want to kill quickly, such as McCree who has already used his Flashbang, Zenyatta, or Genji, I'll use the damage orb. Remember that Moira only does 40 damage per second, which is less than Winston's 60 per second. Don't expect a fight to end quickly or easily, and take advantage of the short cooldown of Fade to confuse and juke the enemy. If you're in range, meleeing the enemy might do more damage than shooting them, but you won't have lifesteal, the extra 30 healing per second you get by doing damage. Speaking of Fade, make sure you tap your jump key right as your Fade ends. Doing so allows you to retain your momentum a little bit longer after the Fade has ended, and significantly boosts how far you travel. Don't be afraid to play aggressively, and remember that you gain healing resource by doing damage. Without doing damage, recharging your healing takes 45 seconds, while it only takes 9 if you're actively attacking the enemy and playing aggressively. The last thing I want to talk about is Moira's ult, Coalescence. I mentioned earlier that it only does 140 healing per second and 70 damage per second, which is less damage than an uncharged Zarya beam. It won't get a team wipe, not even when comboed with a Graviton. In fact, it won't even get a single kill if your target is being healed by a regular Mercy, and your aim isn't perfect enough. It won't even save your team from a Graviton. All in all, it's extremely underwhelming as an ultimate ability, especially with how epic it appears on your screen. But it builds very, very fast. In fact, I typically have my ultimate ready either during or immediately after the first fight, before anyone else on my team or the enemy team has their ultimates. In these conditions, that slight extra healing and damage output can secure a first point capture. Try to use your ultimate as soon as possible, before anyone else has their ultimate. Although the damage and healing is underwhelming from the perspective of an ultimate, I like to treat it as a powerful ability with a somewhat longer cooldown, similar to Mercy Resurrect. Like a Tracer's Pulse Bomb, it's easy to build and hard to guarantee kills with, but it has the potential to turn the tide of a fight. Moira's ult is game-changing in obtaining a slight ultimate advantage and snowballing the rest of the round into an easy victory, and is a game-breaking addition to Overwatch, albeit not as an ultimate, but as a support ability. Thanks for watching. Before anyone asks, no, there were no quick play games in this video. If my rank does not appear in the bottom left, that's because the clip is from a collegiate pickup game, which consists of mostly Grandmaster players and a few top 500s. Now, I realize that I've only played a few games of Moira, and that my win rate is probably going to drop as I play her more. However, I felt like a lot of people playing her were doing so incorrectly, and I wanted to share what I've done to get success with her. I hope the video was helpful. Leave a comment below with your thoughts, drop a like if you enjoyed it, and click that sub button to let me know if you want more videos like this.